only stay a dream.
From the outside, it looks like another quaint Victorian house, but inside, it's far from ordinary. Here, creativity is in abundance.
This is a project that spans many markets around the world.
The team at design company Pearl Fisher gathered daily in this break room to brainstorm.
Yeah, so it was all about using really playful icons.
And every time, they seem to have a ball.
Yeah, thanks guys.
That's because they're sitting on 81,000 white balls. An office now entirely converted into a giant plastic adult playground that promotes the power of play.
An app for the Hella Foundation.
And where its staff can work,
very affordable,
unwind, and clear their minds, all in a low-pressure environment.
I think to capitalise on this idea of it being a bit of fun, this is a completely non-goal orientated environment. I think the worst thing businesses can do is often say, this is going to be the outcome, this is how much revenue it's going to generate. It's about getting away from those kind of targets and goals. And I think what that does mean is that you actually come out being more productive, more refreshed, more connected, and more energised.
The jump-in installation follows the likes of Google, Facebook, Yahoo, among many others, who have added slides, interior gardens, pool tables, and game rooms to their offices.
Do you think that here in the UK and in the rest of Europe there's still a long way to go in terms of creating this sort of environment?
There's been a real desire for something like this in businesses because people like to talk and say they work in creative environments, but beanbags just doesn't really cut it anymore.
What this space really does is help create a playful environment, which then helps foster the creative process. It's all about embracing a childlike mindset and, for me, letting off some steam.
Isa Suarez, CNN, London.
Was you in the hospital with your little hand? What did it say?
I don't remember. I was on dialysis for 3 days a week, 4 hours a day.
His mom and him were on a local radio show talking about his need for a kidney.
You become accustomed to doing certain things, and then when things change, like when I became on dialysis, it was like everything come to a stop.
It just really struck me. He was so young and with kidney disease for 10 or 11 years. And then being in complete kidney failure.
First time was going out with all your friends.
Yeah, I knew I was the same blood type as him, so I was like, you know, I don't have money or power or influence, but I have a working kidney. I know I have that going for me, so. We started the testing process, and it kept being a match after match. And
we talked, and when we first got on the phone with each other, it was just like, we was friends right off the bat. We were talking like we knew each other forever.
Pretty fast year.
From that to that.
Yep. Yep. I was in the hospital for 3 days.
And I was in there for 5.
We were texting the whole time, and
yeah, right away. You know,
yeah, just how do you feel, and you know, is it working? Are you okay? And
Memorial weekend, we had a little get together at my house, and we just started hanging out more and more. And it clicked.
Before it was just a friendship and just trying to get him a kidney and make sure both of us were healthy. Afterwards, we just clicked and we're together all the time since then.
Make sure that's recorded.
It was on Christmas Day. She was opening up a couple gifts.
Oh my God.
I told her I forgot one. I forgot a present. And I come out and I give her the box, and she started tearing up. She opened it up and popped the question. She said yes. I think it was a good way to bring us together, like for us to find each other.
Yeah, I think it was all in a bigger plan than ours and than his doctor's plans. You know, they were just, you know, trying to get him a kidney, but it turned into a lot more.
Put it on her, bud.
It started out of personal need.
So I started rolling down the sidewalk to get to the post office, and I looked back, and I saw a clear path, and I was like, oh, I could clear the sidewalks for everybody.
33-year-old Crystal Evans suffers from neuromuscular disease. It didn't stop her from starting a family or her own business. making party favors. A little snow wasn't going to slow her down.
With the shovel, I can put it down between my footrests and roll with the chair, and it just clears the path.
She spent over 100 hours since January making the sidewalks in her neighborhood passable, inspiring volunteers to help out. Sunday, they cleared out this corner.
They were working down there when a man and his family drove by and said, "I'll be right back, I've got a snowblower."
Not surprisingly, Evans is part of a movement
There we go.
pushing to change the international handicap symbol from a passive person in a wheelchair to somebody in action, taking charge.
There's so much stigma of what people believe a disabled person is. They don't expect us to be working. They don't expect us to be out in the community.
In the community,
Now I'm all stocked up.
a vital part of it.
There are moms out here pushing strollers. There are moms out here carrying infants on the icy sidewalks because they cannot push a stroller. There are elderly people that frequent that bus stop because it's near a grocery store, near a pharmacy. It needs to be accessible for everybody.
Dwayne Milton told me his pet tarantulas fit his lifestyle much better than a dog or a cat.
I leave 10 o'clock and I don't get home till dark, so it's not fair to a pet like that to keep it around because there's nobody here to take care of it, and these don't really care one way or the other. So.
And even better, during the winter, he can keep them in his crawl space where they hibernate and live virtually carefree until the spring. And they were carefree until the owner of this exotic pet store called him and said someone had sold him 5 tarantulas that looked eerily familiar.
They called me one morning, wanted to know if I'd come in and ID some spiders they had, and when I walked in, they were mine.
They were hot spiders stolen from Melton's crawl space. The problem came when the thief tried to turn these spiders into cash because there are very few places you can sell them. Which is why the folks at this exotic pet store, one of the few tarantula dealers in the metro, had a pretty good idea the arachnids belonged to Melton. They had sold them to him not long ago.
You know, I had quite a few of them under there, and quite a bit of money sunk into them, and I thought he had taken all of them and was just going around scattering them around to the local pet stores. So I come flying back home. I thought they were all gone. But when I opened the door and went under, it was just the 5 that he had taken to the store. So luck tell on that.
Only 5 of the 18 pet tarantulas had been pilfered. Police issued an arrest warrant for Brandon Lee Davis for possessing the stolen spiders. The pet store gave him $60 for the lot. Milton told me they usually run about $60 a piece. He's now locked up his crawl space and hopes to turn his 18 spiders into a profit-making breeding operation.
You can see they don't do anything. I know they're big and scary looking, but they're completely harmless.
Unless you're trying to turn them into cash. In Austell, Ross Cabot, Channel 2 Action News.